Welcome to another episode of the Live Happy, Healthy, and Inspired podcast. The podcast all about inspiring good health, living life fully, and chasing your dreams. In this solo episode of Live Happy, Healthy, and Inspired, I dive into how powerful our thoughts and our thinking really is, and how our thoughts control what is happening in our external environment, as well as what we are experiencing in our internal environment. It took a pretty severe anxiety attack just last night for me to relearn this important lesson yet again. I'll discuss how your mindset shapes your perceptions, actions, and overall well being, how to change your mindset, and how changing your mindset changes what you experience in both your internal and external worlds. Also, don't forget, this podcast has been rebranded from Be Well, Be Safe, Be Happy, Eat Ice Cream. So, welcome to the Live Happy, Healthy, and Inspired podcast. Same great content with a fresh new name. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's just me, Brad. I just wanted to jump on and say hi real quick, and thought I would just come on live this morning because it's a little easier sometimes to talk and share something than it is to try and write everything out. But I wanted to come on this morning and just share this idea because of what happened to me last night, and actually again this morning too, and I'll get into what happened here in just a moment. But I wanted to share this idea that about our thinking and our thoughts, and how critical our thinking is and how critical our thoughts are to everything, and I mean absolutely everything that is going on in our world, everything that's going on in our external world, our reality, and then to a certain degree even our internal world in terms of stress and anxiety and just things of that nature. Oh, I'm going to fix my microphone here real quick. Pardon me for a second. As I make this quick adjustment here. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to come on here and just talk about how important our thoughts are and our thinking, and how our thoughts and our thinking shape our everyday reality, including what we're feeling and experience on the inside, whether we're experiencing peace and joy, or whether we're experiencing stress or anxiety. And the reason I wanted to share this is basically because of what happened to me last night. Now, I consider myself a health coach and wellness coach and spiritual coach and all of that good stuff. And I sometimes like to think that I have a good idea on all things this. And so because of that, my stress is minimal and anxiety is minimal and things like that. But that's not always the case. And what happened to me last night is I had a major anxiety attack. I mean, really, really bad. To the point that like I was almost like, having a hard time breathing and everything like that. And so I wanted to come on here this morning. Hi, Luke. Good morning. Thanks for watching and joining. But to kind of walk you through what happened in terms of this anxiety attack, what caused it, and how I was able to deal with it. And then again, back to this idea of just how important our thinking is, how important our thoughts are to everything that goes on in our world. Again, our external world and even our internal world. Yeah, so last night I had a major anxiety attack. And it was so bad to the point that I was literally almost keeling over. And it kind of felt like almost like a heart attack, but I knew it wasn't a heart attack. I have enough kind of knowledge and training to understand what was going on. This was a full-blown anxiety attack. And it just kind of started to come on over the seconds and minutes. And within about 2-3 minutes, I was, full-on blown anxiety attack. And I did the only thing that I knew how to do in that moment, which was go to my deep breathing. And so I started to practice my deep breathing exercise. And by the way, I don't have time to explain that deep breathing exercise that I did in full detail, but you can check it out in my book, Chapter 7, Take Back Your Life. Just want to throw that out there real quick. But anyway, so I started doing the deep breathing exercise. But here's the thing, it wasn't working. The anxiety attack was so bad that it wasn't working. And so one thing I want to share with you today, when you're trying an external modality and it's not working in the beginning, so in my case a deep breathing technique or some of the other external modalities, yoga, meditation, journaling, walking in nature. Sometimes I even go for a walk in nature, and that doesn't always necessarily help to relieve my stress or anxiety. So what I had to do in that moment was I had to make a quick mindset shift. And I added what I always like to call my secret ingredient, and that was determination. I had to get super focused last night, super quick, very fast, that okay, no matter what, this breathing is going to work. This deep breathing technique I was going to work, because I was doing it for about 5 minutes and it just was not working at all. The anxiety was getting worse. And so in that moment I switched and I said, okay, this is going to work. I don't know, it has to work. I've got to use this deep breathing technique to get my anxiety under control. And so I made an all-out effort, and that's key, is that if you're using an external modality to control what's going on in your internal world, you have to make that all-out effort to get it to work. And so I did. I made an all-out effort to get my deep breathing technique to work, and eventually it did. It got my heart rate slowed down significantly. My heart rate without just sitting on the couch is probably well up around 180, 190. And it's very difficult to get your heart rate that high unless you're doing like a very high intensity type of workout or something. And so anyway, I got focused, I got determined, and I started doing my deep breathing technique, just inhaling and exhaling, and sure enough, it worked. My heart rate slowed down and my anxiety came under control, and it worked so well, in fact, that I stayed doing it for about another 20-30 minutes and got to a completely relaxed state. And so that's the good news, right? Yeah, I got my anxiety attack under control. However, the thing with an external modality, again, like deep breathing or yoga or something like that, is it works temporarily. It works as a band-aid, but it did not cure the root solution, the root cause of what was causing my anxiety. And I didn't fully understand this until just this morning, actually. I was out sitting on my patio and I was just doing some journaling, and I could feel the anxiety literally within me rising up again, but I wasn't stressed out or anything. I had no idea what was going on. And I'm like, this is crazy. Why am I feeling this stress and anxiety? I'm in nature, I'm relaxing, I'm enjoying the morning. You think I would be nice and relaxed and chilled. Hi, good morning, Helga. Welcome. Thanks so much for watching. Just talking about how our thinking is really important to controlling our external environment and our internal well-being, based on the anxiety attack, this pretty severe anxiety attack that I had last night. So anyway, so the anxiety started to come back this morning, and I'm like, this is crazy. What is going on here? So I didn't want to do the deep breathing again because I knew that would work, but I also knew the deep breathing is not the cause of what's going on here. What is the root cause of this anxiety? And then it just kind of dawned on me, I've got to get to the root cause of this anxiety. And that's what I'm saying. Whatever you have going on in your external world or your internal world in terms of your well-being, a health issue, stress, anxiety, external modalities are great, but they're only a band-aid. And so I had to get to the root cause of what was going on this morning. And so I didn't know what else to do. I just got my journal out and I just wrote a simple question. I just wrote on my journal, what is the cause of this anxiety? What's going on within me? And the answer is just crazy. It immediately came to me. I always just, whenever I write a question, I just write the immediate answer that comes to me. And they go, Brad, it's not what you think it is. And I'm like, okay. And I literally wrote, well, I have no idea what to think it is. So just literally, why don't you tell me what it is? And again, I just kind of turned the answer to this over to what I like to do, my higher power. And it came back that the reason I was having this anxiety was directly related to a thought that I was having, but it was a subconscious thought. I had to bring this thought to my surface, to my conscious mind, to be able to deal with it. So the thought that I was having was just a lot of worry about certain goals that I have in my life, that they're not going to happen, that they're not going to come true. And I was worried about, well, how am I going to make this happen, blah, blah, blah. And I realized that I didn't even know that that's what I was focused on. I was focused on worrying about how my goals are going to happen, and that was causing severe stress and anxiety. That's what caused my anxiety attack last night. And then I realized, again, I continued journaling, I'm like, well, this internal environment that I'm experiencing, this high stress, this high anxiety, it's just not working for me. And I realized that, excuse me, I should have got some water before my throat before I jumped on here this morning. But I realized that this thought of worry is what was creating my internal environment of severe stress, severe anxiety, all of that stuff. And I had to deal with it right away. And so I got out my journal. Again, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining here. Again, talking about how my thinking and my thoughts led to me having a severe anxiety attack last night, and how I was able to change that and get that under control. So I realized journaling that, yeah, I was having this thought of, worry, of panic about how am I going to get all these goals. I have all these goals for myself in my life. How am I going to get them to happen and become a reality? And that was causing my anxiety. That's what caused my anxiety attack last night. So then I asked the question, well, this isn't working for me. How can I get this to work? And so this is what you have to do. You have to first recognize, you have to bring the thought to the forefront of what is going on. If you see something going on in your life, this is part of what I want to share with you. If you see something going on in your life and it's not working for you, take a moment with your journal, sit down and ask this question. What is going on within me that is causing this in my external environment? What is going on within me that is causing me to feel stress, anxiety, all of this stuff? And the first thing I can say is I can guarantee it's a thought. Everything you have going on in your external world is very much related to what you are thinking. Everything that you are feeling in your internal environment, whether it's stress, anxiety like I was, or maybe it's peace, it's related to a thought, related to a thought that you are having, something that you are thinking. Now, I wasn't aware of my thought. It was buried deep in my subconscious last night, and so I had to go through an exercise to journal to bring that thought to the forefront. So what you can do if you see something in your life that's not working, sit down and ask with your journal, what is causing me to experience this in my internal environment? Or you can ask, what is causing me, like I did this morning, what is causing me to feel stress and high levels of stress and anxiety in my internal environment this morning? What's the thought I'm having that's connected to this? And so I did that. I got down and I journaled. And again, it came back that I was worried about achieving my goals. And so now, once we've identified that thought, what you have to do is you have to replace that with something that will work for you, that will benefit you. And so I said to myself, you know what, this stress, this anxiety that's related to this thought simply isn't working for me. What kind of internal environment do I wish to create? So this is really important in your journey. You have to understand what type of environment you want to create on the inside. You have to understand what it is that you want to show up on the outside in your world. And then you have to create a thought that will match that. You have to create a thought that will match the internal environment you want. You have to create a thought that will match what you want to show up in your external environment. And so that was the next step in this, and me processing this anxiety attack I had. I told myself, well, the type of internal environment that I want to create is one of peace, one of health, and one of joy, something like that, one of harmony, one of relaxation. I want to create the complete opposite of stress and anxiety, because that was the internal environment that I had been experiencing last night and again this morning. And so again, how do you create this internal environment of peace and harmony and wa and joy and all this stuff? Again, it goes back to having a thought. And what I had to do, I asked myself again, well, this idea of worrying about whether I'll achieve my goals or not, it's not working for me. So what would the opposite of this thought be? And this is a good trick to ask yourself to create the environment that you want on the outside, or to create the environment that you want on the inside, is to ask yourself this question, well, what is the opposite here? So I asked myself, what is the opposite of worrying? What is the opposite of worrying about whether or not this will happen? And I asked myself that question, and it just came to me, and I'm journaling all of this. The opposite would be, well, I'm excited that this has happened. I'm excited that I have reached this goal. And so this is the mindset shift. This was the change your thinking, change your world. That's a popular quotation by a lot of teachers out there. A lot of mystics and a lot of gurus have said that. Change your thinking, change your world. Well, this is how you go about doing it. And so in that moment, I was able to change my thought from, oh, I'm worried if I'll achieve my goals, to, oh, I'm excited to having achieved my goals. And guess what happened in that moment? Instantly in that moment, I could feel my anxiety literally completely went away. Completely cleared up, no more. So I didn't even need to do the deep breathing this morning. All I had to do was change my thinking, change my thought about my goals, that I'm excited that they have happened, and that immediately cleared up my anxiety. And so again, the whole point that I want to get at this morning is that what you are thinking, your thoughts, are so important to your quality of life. Your thinking absolutely determines what is happening in your external world. Your thinking or thought is absolutely paramount to determine what is going on in your internal world. And I'll go so far as to even say it's leading to any health issues that you might have. It's leading to any struggles that you might have with weight loss or something like that. And the easiest way to get a grasp on all of this is to just put the brakes on and say, hold on for a moment here. I'm experiencing this. What is it that you're experiencing either in your external environment that's not working for you, or what are you experiencing in your internal environment that's not working for you? Hit the pause button and say, you know what? This is simply not working for me. Now, how do I deal with all this that's not working for me? First, you identify whatever it is that's not working for you. If you're feeling stress, anxiety, like I was on the inside, that's what I identified. If you're struggling with something on the outside, like just a common example, weight loss, you'll say, I'm not losing weight. Well, obviously, that's not working for me. And then go to the question. It's always, I can pretty much with 100% certainty say, everything you're experiencing is tied to what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're believing, that thought that you are having. And so you need to ask the question then next with your journal. Again, this is exactly what I did. What is my thought that I'm having that is leading me to experience anxiety on the inside and leading me to these high levels of stress? Just journal that out. However you want to answer that question, just whatever answer comes to you, write that. And you'll see, oh my gosh, this is the thought I'm having that's leading to this particular situation that I'm experiencing. Well, this isn't working. And so the next thing you can do to help mitigate this in your life is to say, well, what's the opposite of that thought? So I ask myself, what is the opposite of this thought that, oh, I'm worried that I won't achieve my goals? The opposite was, oh, I'm excited that I have and that I am achieving my goals. That's the change of thinking that will then change my internal world, which is exactly what happened to me this morning. And so again, just to emphasize, everything that you think matters. Every thought that you have is so critical. It's so important because it will impact your well-being on the inside, how you feel. It will impact your quality of life on the outside. The things that are showing up in your life or the things that you're experiencing or whatever that may be in your life, it's all tied back to a thought you're having, a thinking that you're having. This might sound crazy, something like that, but just it's so true. I can't even tell you. And think about this for a moment. If you're having a thought like I was, that, oh, I'm worried about achieving my goals, the reaction of that is stress and anxiety. Now, if I maintain an internal environment of stress and anxiety, what's that going to do to my long-term health? Obviously, that's going to radically affect my internal health for the long term. And so, if you're holding on to stress and anxiety, long term, that can lead to something called inflammation. And as science has been telling us, inflammation is the root cause of a lot of the health issues that we're experiencing. So if you're experiencing a health issue, a lot of this can be cleared up by changing your thinking. Change your thinking, change your world. It kind of sounds cliche, but it's so true. Okay, I've been on here long enough this morning, so I hope that you've gotten something out of this, but that's what I really wanted to share with you all this morning. It's just, again, how critical your thinking is to your world, how critical your thoughts are to your external world, what you're experiencing, and to your internal environment, what you're feeling. And so what I'm working on now is creating those thoughts that create an internal environment of just peace and well-being. So I'm just going around saying, I feel good this morning, I am wonderful, I am blessed, things of that nature. Things that just build up my internal environment of peace, because I understand that that's really related to my thinking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear any comments or feedback. Hope you got something out of this morning. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.